I'm tired. I'm just now getting off. It's 6:16 after 6. But I want to make this video because I was going to make it. I actually made a video this morning while Kwame was live, and I didn't get to see his whole live, but I had 2 jobs to go to, so I didn't have time to even finish the video the way I wanted to. So I'm just going to make the entire video over again. Kwame Brown spoke about something this morning that our little kids, our young people, young adults and kids need to hear a little bit more often. He said anybody can look up the police reports from Brunswick, Georgia when he was a little boy and see how many times his door was kicked in. Meaning, as a little boy, his older brothers were getting into things that they wasn't supposed to get into. We all have brothers and cousins and family members that get into the wrong thing. He said as a little boy, his door was being kicked in, but he still somehow managed to, I guess he got a scholarship maybe to the University of Florida. That says a lot. Police kicking in your door, that's no laughing matter right there. There are little kids right now that's going through the same exact thing that this man had to go through. And those little kids, I don't think we realize how important it is for a child to hear similar situations that they're going through and to see the outcome of that situation. Because when you're in a situation, when you're in the middle of the crack epidemic in the 1980s, like I was, and violence, you're seeing violence every single day. You know, like I said, my mom, I love my mom to death. She's the sweetest lady on the planet. But when we were growing up, she was undiagnosed, schizophrenic, and bipolar. So she would snap for the smallest things. The smallest things. But she didn't have anything this small to snap about a lot of times. A lot of times it was my dad who was hooked on drugs, and he was an alcoholic. Loved both my parents to death. Wouldn't take anything away. But as a child, if I had somebody to come out and say, if I had the #1 draft pick coming straight out of high school, or either years later in the case of Kwame Brown, 20-something years later, still, to hear someone speak like that, vividly, mind you, and to hear him talk about the police kicking in his door, and to see how he came out of that, for a little child, that means the world. I remember hearing this guy come to my high school, or was it middle school? My middle school and high school was the same building. My high school was so small, 400 people. Middle school and high school was the same building. Shout out to the HR Cobras out there. But I heard a motivational speaker come to our school one day, and he said, and he recited the alphabets, but for every letter of the alphabet, he went all the way to Z. There was some motivational word associated with each letter. So, like A was aim high, B, it was, I don't know, be all that you can be. These are all Army slogans, but, every letter was associated with a word to empower you. And I remember that. And, I was going through some issues, but that guy, he didn't say anything about his childhood. It was just that one thing, going through the whole alphabet with all these motivational words, that really got me out of a slump at that moment, So you never know what a child might need to hear in order to get that child out of that slump. So when Kwame Brown was talking about police kicking in his door, he still has some type of childhood trauma. He has to. And, not to talk about the guy's life like that, but I know he has. I have, I still have childhood trauma that I'm dealing with, so I know he has. We didn't have the police kicking in our door a lot. It was every now and then we had the police maybe once or twice. You know, my dad really got crazy. My mom really got, maybe once or twice. But hearing him talk about persevering, getting out of that situation, there's a young adult out there right now that's going through some stuff. There's a 20-year-old out there going through some things that need to hear things like that. So that's one important reason why we got to have him, why he has to stick around. You know what I mean? So all these people coming at him, the powers that be, you know what I mean, they'll handle that. And what I was trying to think this was a couple, I can't remember. All these videos are tying together now. But any weapon formed against me shall not prosper. That's what I was trying to remember, the Bible quote the other day. But yeah, I just wanted to get on here and talk about perseverance, and how perseverance, a child hearing how somebody else got through some real tough times, can help that child. So, and if not the child, if the child is not looking at the videos, if the little boy or girl or whatever is not watching the videos, if the parents are watching the videos, or friends of the family or whatever, knowing that this little kid is going through some issues, speak up. Let them know that they're not the only one going through things. Kids need to hear that stuff. My little son, my 14-year-old son, he's going through some things right now. He's 14, he's about to go to high school, so he's going through some things right now, and I can tell. And I'm glad he has a big brother. He has two big brothers, but his one big brother in particular, he takes him under his wing, and he's a real good mentor to him. I thank God for that. But aside to that, I'm the dad. We go and do things together. We may be going to a basketball, football professional. We went to the Memphis Pelicans, Memphis Grizzlies, New Orleans Pelicans game whenever Zion Williamson was a rookie. Zion Williamson is from South Carolina, Geechee. Ja Morant is also from South Carolina, another Geechee. So we went to that first game, and then Zion was hurt, so we didn't get to see him play, but we saw Ja Morant play his first year. So that was special, and he still talks about that today. Little kids, they'll remember things like that for the rest of their lives. So dads, especially dads, you can get out there and do stuff with your kids, man. I remember my dad, one day I was sitting in we had this old broken down car in the yard, and I was too young to drive. The car was sitting on a block, so what I would do is I would get in that car and just daydream, pretend I was driving. I think I was maybe 14, 15 years old. And my dad used to drink a lot. He was an alcoholic. God bless his soul. But he came to the car one day and he said, it surprised the hell out of me. He said, "Hey, what you doing?" I said, "I'm just sitting in the car, just sitting in the car looking out the window." He said, "You want to play basketball?" I said, "Yeah, yeah." He's like, "No, you want to play basketball with me on my team? I need a team member." He's drunk as hell. So I'm like, what? Because my dad never ever did a lot of things with his sons, but he wanted me to play basketball with him. So we went down to one of our cousins' house down the street, and they had people already there. I guess he had two of my cousins were there, and they were waiting on me to come. And I guess he was like, "Hey, I got a boy. We're going to show y'all how to play." So we played a couple games. He's drunk as hell, sliding all over the place. But we won the game, and that was one of the best basketball games I ever played in my life. All because my dad offered, a spot on the court on his team to me. It was a very special day, and I think about that day when I think about him. Now he died in 2010, but he wasn't my biological dad, but he was the only guy I knew. So that's kids are special, and never try to grow your kids up too fast, man. Remember your own childhood. Your childhood is That's that precious part of you that you'll never get back again. You know, not to tell you what to do with your kids, but just remember being a kid. You know, remember being innocent. You know, you want your kids to develop and be ready to go out into the world when they're ready, but at the same time, when they're kids, that's precious. I look at kids like angels. Those are actual angels that come back to earth. That's why I'm so big on Planned Parenthood and abortion and things like that, which I won't get into that. That's politics or whatever. But I believe, my personal opinion is that angels or children, especially when they're newborns, those are angels. You know? That's how I look at it. But perseverance, that's what I wanted to talk about. Kwame Brown did it. I did it. I was able to get out of school and go into the Army. After the Army, got a job working with military for over 20 years. Now I'm working in the medical field. But my ultimate dream is to write full time. So, yeah. What time is it? It's been about 11 minutes. Yeah, on my way home. About to go get something to eat. I'm hungry. It's 2 grizzly bears. That's all I got to talk about today, man. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. Shout out to Kwame Brown again. Shout out to Self Talk. Shout out to all my subscribers. All the new subscribers. I've gotten several new subscribers now since Kwame shouted me out. And I got some people to buy books. So shout out to you again, man. My Geechee brother. That's all I got right now. I'll be back tomorrow morning. But, man, elbow ashy again. I'm sorry about that. I got some lotion in here somewhere. But anyways, that's all I got. You guys be blessed. Talk to you later.